connect with like-minded AHK users in our private chat, helping each other out and sparking ideas that make scripting way more fun. Unlock weekly live sessions totaling 3 hours. Expert guidance, troubleshooting, and interactive learning to make AHK mastery a breeze. Connie, you're on your Windows 10 computer?
I am. My SSD drive went out on my main.
Oh,
Really?
Yeah, I'd had trouble with it previously, and I I had to reload my system, and then I was backing up my computer, and I came back after the next morning after having it run all night, and the computer would not go past the boot screen.
Mm-hmm.
did you get any
Okay.
warning? Did you get any warning before it failed?
No, or if I did, I was it was in the middle of the night.
Okay. That's
And
So, and from what I've read, SSD drive, we all know they do wear out, right? They're not much faster than a standard drive is. However, when they wear out on the writing, not the reading, which was what it relieved me. So even though I get your point, is Connie, you may not be able to boot to it because it's, of course, it has to interact, right? But you still might be able to access your files.
Yeah, you
Right.
can still recover a lot.
yeah, I'm going to buy an adapter so I can read it
Yeah.
externally.
Yes, exactly.
I had one on the previous time I did this. I got one and tried it out and then sent it back.
But you don't need to buy an adapter. You just, if you have another hard drive, just boot on the other hard drive, right? If you have an operating system in there. Usually, you know what I do? And this is, if you have some sort of experience with Linux, you just grab a USB and they have these live USB things. And once you connect it, you can look at your other hard drive. But there is a system like that for Windows, which is a live USB for Windows. You can search online. You can generate that actually. You can create one live USB bootable Windows installation that you just plug your USB, boot from there, and then you look at your hard drive and pass all your documents if you need to. So
I must confess that I broke down and hired somebody to solve the problem. It's just going to replace the SSD.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Hopefully
Yeah.
she'll give me the old one, and then I can look at it.
Right.
I think
Awesome.
I had most everything backed up, but it did bring up one thing. I noticed that in a lot of my scripts, I have maps to non-real drives like M colon or S colon, which I think probably not a good idea. If you change your computer, you've got to go back and find all those mappings.
Well, our tool has a way to back them up, right?
Yes, it does. And you can read that back up, right?
Yeah, well, hopefully, well, no, I'm just saying is you can export it and save it, and then you can just, when you go to set it up again, you just hit go reapply all those, for you.
Okay. But that does bring up the question, is there a way to find out what the real names are programmatically?
Yeah, you could go if you can get to the Windows registry.
Okay.
It's stored in the
Yeah.
Windows registry.
Well, those you're referring to the ones that are in this Windows registry. But
Yes.
what was the command that we used, Joe? Like the set environment. There's a command
The
that you can
substitute command is
substitute
alternative.
command. That's the one, right? So there's two different ways of doing the same thing, right? So the substitute command
Is this once you launch our tool and then
Sure.
Sorry, I'm not cutting you off the substitute, or I am. I don't, but I'm just saying.
No, but we can take a look at actually what the tool does, by the way. So we can do the whole thing. Let me set my DPI settings here.
Would the relevant registry, Windows registry, be on the corrupted SSD drive?
Yes.
If that's the main drive, yeah. So the registry is a text file, right? So if you know how to get to it, you can still theoretically be able to access it. But
All right.
Just so happened I had taken a backup of the registry last week, so
Nice.
I
It's
might have a copy of it.
Awesome.
I, from time to time, I run Crystal Drive info to test my SSDs. Is that a reliable way of detecting imminent problems?
Mm,
I don't know
there are specialized tools for that. I don't think you can do
if
what
it's
you're referring to very easily, I guess.
Well, I thought Crystal Disk Info was a specialized tool for that. I could show you what it is if that'll help.
yeah,
Okay.
we use it. All right, I have it.
All right.
You
But
know
it, there are there if I remember correctly, there are some drives that are I think they're called smart. I forget for I think
yeah, smart.
and those do give you some indication of hey, this drive might be having a problem, right? But I think it's back to is the drive a smart drive or not?
Oh, give me just a second, guys.
Let me see. I can find the fake drive tool. Maybe it's drive creator. Here we go. I'll share my screen. I'll show you what I've got set up. Oh, that's the resolve create drive. So these are the different hard drives. We have different icons. So these are real drives, I believe. And then the stuff with the yellow icon are the fake drives. And here we can see what they're mapped to, right? So I can see where they actually go. And here's the import and export. That's what I'm saying is if you had exported it, you'd have a file. Did I click it? Oh, I think it just exports it. Yeah, that probably should have a notification saying it's done. But there's the backup any. And of course, you could go look if you've done it in the past, you can find this file and see where they are, where they're mapped to.
Yes, that's exactly what I needed to do.
Yeah. Now, in the registry, let me see. I should have it bookmarked. And again,
Sorry, I was sharing and my screen probably this whole part it's not gonna show up.
well,
Maybe you have to share it again.
under my favorites, let's see, what? Oh, because since I lost all my stuff, I can import my favorite. I had them backed up somewhere.
I have the URL. Hold on. Let me send it over Telegram because I was just looking at that. Here.
You say that it's under favorites.
Well, I do.
You
Yeah.
had it. Yeah.
You bookmarked it to favorites, but it's
Yeah.
So here is where we apply the settings, our tool, because we highly don't recommend, monkey with this yourself unless you know what you're doing.
right.
But yeah, you can just see how the format of what it's doing for you. Now, that was what Isaiah was saying is like, if you had actually applied them this way, you can use the substitute command to create them, and that won't have a backup if you had done that on your own, right? But our tool, it starts off with the subs to create it, to have access to it right away. And then when you reboot, it relies on this to have them available.
And that is under current machine system.
I'll
Put it, send
Yeah.
us, put it in wherever.
yeah, it's in wherever. Yeah.
Put it in Telegram if you don't mind.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Yeah. So that the format of those paths are special. They're not like the normal paths. That's why we built a tool, because then we would forget about it, right? And you saw that it started with 2 backslashes, then some question marks, and so on and so forth. without going too deep into it, is just if you had multiple network drives, that would be a path that you would put the network computer name right there, where the two question marks are. But the
Right.
question marks, they mean like your, I don't know if it is just a local computer or any computer. I don't know how it works. We just saw it, we used it, we put it on the registry, and the tool just does that. So I was just sharing my screen on how the tool, the one that we have, does exactly that. It goes through, we say load the drives. This right here is just looping through the alphabet. And the way how we know that it is the alphabet is by this index plus 64. So number 65 is the letter A, all right? And 66 is B, and so on and so forth. So as we loop, we go one character at a time, and we just get that character right here. And then we check whether that drive actually exists. And if it does, we will get some attributes here. One of the attributes that we care about is the letter S. If it's the letter S, then we're going to assume that it's a local drive. But if the attributes do not have the letter S in them, then we will either get the drive path by something that we're doing here. This is the way that we try to get the path. And if we cannot get it, then we will assume that it is a temporal virtual drive. That is the one that when you use the substitute command, it creates a temporal virtual drive. And when you reset or restart your computer, you will not see that drive. I think, if I remember right, Joe, you correct me if I'm wrong. But if we save it into the registry, though, then those drives get loaded with Windows, and then they are there. So they're not temporal. They are, persistent is what you would call.
Yeah.
So let's look through it so we can at least see that.
Well, when you add a drive under the session manager, the DOS locations, I forget which one, whatever, those don't happen right then, because, which is ironically why we use our approach and not just the substitute command. Those happen when Windows is before Windows loads. So if you use the substitute command, and even if you had it in your startup directory to get kicked off, there's a time where that drive may not exist, and that's why some things would break. I'd have tools in there that I'm going to launch, but it doesn't exist yet, and it would break. So I found this, like, I don't know, 13 years ago easily, where it gets built before Windows is even loaded. And this is why we take this approach of it's a little bit more safe if you want to have a drive, kind of always have a drive in Windows.
Especially if you're going to use that during the startup process.
Exactly, right.
Yes, specifically. So, for example, I have AutoHotkey toolkit, right? And AutoHotkey toolkit is set to auto start. Now, to auto start, I save AutoHotkey toolkit in a drive, one of these temporal drives. When my computer starts, if that drive is not there, then the AutoHotkey toolkit will not be launched, because it's Windows cannot see that there yet. With the registry, though, this happens even before the login sequence for Windows happens. So by the time you're logging in, they already exist, and then tools don't break, right? So here, as I mentioned, this should give me the A drive. There we go. So we have the A drive. We get the attributes of the A drive. And in the attributes, I see that I have the R, the A, and the D. So notice that we don't have the letter S there. And because of that, I know that it's not a local drive. All right. So because I'm missing that attribute, then I know it's not a local drive. As I know that it's not a local drive, then I will go ahead and try to get the information about that drive in the registry. So I'm going to go ahead and try to read it. And when I read it, notice what I get. I get this path, which again is what we call a UNC path right here. That would be the name of the computer. And then you get a normal path, except for the fact that the first backslash must be escaped. All the others, you can keep them as is. It's just the first
so
one.
dumb.
It's a weird thing, you know. It is just, this tool was created like 50 years ago when they thought that you wouldn't have like more than 5 drives or something. Something went wrong, and they, instead of just saying like, let's go ahead and rebuild it and do something else, they have been using the same program, and then they just they use the workaround. If you are doing the drive letter, then the next one should be escaped, something like that. I don't know. So then I have to handle that. I'm going to go ahead and clean that up so I can get the correct drive path to this drive, which was not, a real drive. It's not a local drive. I know that. And if I keep going, it would do this for each of them. The B drive, what happens with the B drive? It doesn't even exist. So if the file does not exist, then I push it to a different variable called available drives, because I will have that later for part of my tooling, in which I will use an available drive to create a new tool, right? So now the C drive, this one here, is a local drive. So when I check on it, you will see that this has the letter S in it, and that's the part that I'm checking. This should fail completely. We should not have a registry at the moment. Boom. So it just exits out of that block completely, because I have it on set here, and that would throw an error. And because I didn't catch the error, I'm not doing anything with it. This whole thing is ignored. And then at this point, the drive is the letter C. It will say local drive, so it will not have any path in it. So I will just keep doing that until the tool finishes loading, I guess. And that's it. The tool that I was just running is the resolve drive. And that one just took my location, in this case here, and says, okay, so this is the S drive creator. When I double click on it, I want it to open the real path where this is, which in this case, it opened this window, which gives me the full path of it. And we need this sometimes because Dropbox has a few things. The create drive works exactly the same. It has this same function of loading the locations. And then it just does this. The ones that have a path, you will see the path in them. And the ones that are local, it would just say local drive. And if I create a drive with a substitute command, it would put the letter there, and in here it would say temporal. That's what it would do. So that's how the tools work. In your case, Connie, the main idea here is if you want those drives to be permanent, just put them in this registry key. I can just go ahead and save that in the hero group in case you need it. And Joe did this. He just went ahead and everybody, I would do that right away. It's just, you just put this path and save it in your favorites, right? So you just do this. You are in the location now, and then we just add it to favorites here. I already have it. I have the DOS devices here because of exactly that location. That's it.
Except for, and I don't know if I think it's people saw me when I saved it. I renamed it like fake drive because I don't want to remember DOS devices means where this is where these fake drives are, right? Like
exactly.
It's back to the whole AutoHotkey of customizing your hotkeys to do an action, right? Like you can name them
right.
Like
you name it exactly what you
remember
want.
it, but DOS devices is not what comes to mind when I'm thinking about this.
Right.
Get insider savings, 25% off courses, scripts, and done-for-you AHK jobs, making premium tools affordable and accessible. Members get unlimited access to 466 plus hours of video lessons, packed with AHK insights to binge learn whenever inspiration hits.